This is the CBS Evening News. I'm Charles Kuralt, sitting in tonight for Dan Rather. Good evening. Thanksgiving 1988. Part of Thanksgiving is predictable. Give thanks for that. Every year, the little kids on the Broadway curbsides are awestruck by the 5-story tall balloons in the great Macy's parade. And they were again today in New York City. Every year, people dress up like pilgrims. They did again today at Benton Harbor, Michigan. Every year, a Thanksgiving baby gets a pilgrim hat. Little Catherine Morrison was the lucky infant in Santa Monica today. And the autumn feast the pilgrims had with the Indians is reenacted in nearly every American place, so that hungry people are fed on this one day at least. They were again today in Dayton, in Denver.
They're delicious.
In Washington, in Los Angeles. Nobody did it with as much style as Raul Jimenez of San Antonio. The successful restaurant owner arranged for limousines to pick up the poor folks and mariachis to serenade them, and served 14,000 free meals in the San Antonio Civic Center. 14,000 turkey dinners, 14,000 slices of pumpkin pie. It is wondrous that America's pumpkin production is somehow always equal to America's Thanksgivings. A lot of people in Magna, Utah, in the spirit of the day, wanted to serve Thanksgiving dinner to the visiting Soviet on-site inspectors who were there enforcing the new missile treaty. But the Pentagon wouldn't give permission for them to enter a private home. So they were fed in a church. Not even Russians can escape pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving.
I think we should be thankful that we can sit just in such a peaceful atmosphere and share the food.
On Broadway, Jackie Mason, the comedian, served lunch to other Broadway actors.
And above everything, let's think about me. I'll tell you the truth, I'm becoming a hit lately, but for years I thought I was a turkey myself, and I didn't even think it was Thanksgiving Day. I just thought I was a turkey.
What would the day be without a little laughter? On Frozen Forest Lake, north of Minneapolis, people interrupted their Thanksgiving to save a deer which had fallen through the ice. What would the day be without a good deed? Nothing much happened on Thanksgiving in Thanksgiving, North Carolina, population 100, but we did see a flock of Thanksgiving turkeys in Thanksgiving crossing the road on their own drumsticks, safe at least until Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, it looked like Christmas in the West after big Thanksgiving snowfalls. Speaking of Christmas, look what they were doing today outside of Rochester, New York. You can expect to find these trees in a lot on the corner in your town about day after tomorrow. On the CBS Evening News, Bob McNamara on Americans with jobs, but without the means to celebrate this holiday of plenty.
It takes time to get your gal to see the light. It takes time. It isn't always love at sight. From the first little glance till she's ready for romance. Remember, little man, it takes time. It takes time to make the coffee percolate. It takes time to get your gal to set the date. From the first moonlit walk till you get the baby talk.
The Elegance Collection from Citizen.
Yeah.
Are you okay, Dad?
Sure, doctor said it's heartburn.
Heartburn and high blood pressure. He wants him to cut out salt.
Well, you better do it.
He will. Don't worry.
If you're one of millions of heartburn sufferers and also have to cut out salt, cut it out of your antacid, too. Riopan Plus 2 is sodium-free, and it starts neutralizing stomach acid in 10 seconds.
Dessert?
Well, you're sure feeling better, Dad.
For heartburn and indigestion, Riopan Plus 2, sodium-free, and it works fast.
There's nothing like a bowl of Campbell's soup.
My treat?
To warm things up.
That's what Campbell's soups are. Ooh, good.
The new Remington Electroblade vibrating blade system has been an amazing success for those who prefer shaving with a blade. Electroblade's vibrating twin blades glide so easily you'll get the closest, smoothest blade shave you've ever imagined or your money back.
OPEC oil ministers meeting in Vienna today reached a tentative agreement to limit their production and hold their official price at $18 for a barrel of crude oil. The agreement came after Iran agreed to a compromise formula on production quotas, a compromise that reportedly would break the long deadlock between Iran and Iraq over how much oil each can pump. But the Iranian oil minister said he would return to Tehran to consult with his government before making the agreement final. The government of South Africa took another step toward freeing Nelson Mandela today, but did not go all the way. The justice minister said when Mandela gets out of a private clinic where he's being treated for tuberculosis, he will not be sent back to prison. He said the black opposition leader will be moved to what he called a comfortable and secure location where he will be able to see his family at any time. Martha Teichner has more from Johannesburg.
The first hint that Nelson Mandela might be moved came when evangelist Pat Robertson, in South Africa for a series of television broadcasts, emerged from a meeting with South Africa's state president, P.W. Botha.
He said he did not feel that he would be returned to prison, but would be placed in some other type of, he didn't use the term protective custody, they are my words, but some other environment.
But according to the family's lawyer, Mandela's wife Winnie sees no sign that her husband's release is imminent. He responded to suggestions that Mandela would actually be under house arrest.
It's quite clear that we're still talking about a situation where Mr. Mandela would continue to remain a prisoner.
The government's justification: if Nelson Mandela is freed, he might be assassinated. But at the same time, President P.W. Botha fears he might die in jail.
Personally, I don't think at his age and under his condition, it would be wise for him to choose to go back to jail.
President Botha himself started the rumors of a release when Mandela was transferred out of prison to receive specialized medical treatment for tuberculosis. The excitement generated even when his wife Winnie visited him demonstrated to the government the danger, that his unconditional release could unleash a new wave of black demands and threaten white rule in South Africa. After 26 years in jail, Nelson Mandela is the world's most famous political prisoner. Rumors of his release have escalated into a frenzy of expectation. But tonight's news of something less than freedom for Nelson Mandela is likely to turn anticipation into anger. Martha Teichner, CBS News, Johannesburg.
A Canadian Army helicopter rescued 27 crewmen from a Greek freighter off the coast of Nova Scotia today. The ship sprung a leak in heavy seas and was in danger of sinking, but the chopper plucked the crewmen off the deck and put them down on another ship, which then took them all safely ashore. One of the ship's officers said, "We didn't think we'd make it."
Over the years, Wheaties has always been the breakfast of champions, because we've always stood for the best, with what we put inside the box and who we put outside. Today we welcome our newest champion, and we've never stood quite as tall.
Great news. I don't need surgery for my hemorrhoids. The doctor said they're not that serious. He said use Preparation H.
Preparation H helps shrink swelling of tissues as it often relieves pain and itching for hours.
Aren't you glad you didn't need surgery?
Preparation H.
There's only one place you'll find America's best-selling camcorder outfit with 2 free lenses worth $218. The case, camcorder, and accessories are only $26 a month. Now, only at Sears.
They say men get better with age, and women just age. Oh, really?
Oil of Olay.
Men get character lines, women get wrinkles. Oh, really?
Created to penetrate quickly, lessen the look of lines.
Only men get sexier. Oh, really?
Created to fight dryness, silken, like your skin's youthful fluid.
I don't intend to grow old gracefully.
Oil of Olay.
I'm fighting it every step of the way.
Really.
The latest wave of refugees pouring into the United States is from a country weary after years of fighting a U.S.-backed insurgency and U.S. economic sanctions. Victoria Corderi reports on people from Nicaragua trying to find a new life in the north.
Okay, 48, come down here. I got a group down here.
They are Nicaraguans, cold and scared, but finally in the United States.
How many are there, 15? 16.
The Border Patrol now estimates that up to 4,000 Nicaraguans a month are crossing into the United States through an illegal pipeline from Managua. Unlike other refugee groups, Nicaraguan illegals are not turned back because they are fleeing a government the United States considers repressive. Most are released and allowed to make a living, something the refugees say is getting harder to do in Nicaragua, a country battered by war and an economy where inflation runs at a staggering 40,000%. In Managua, buses leave full of refugees paying hundreds of dollars for a one-way ticket out, while the Sandinista government looks the other way. This Nicaraguan newspaper openly advertises trips to the United States. Marta Fernandez, 21 years old, crossed the Rio Grande with her 2 children, hoping, she says, to give them a good future. Once in Texas, many refugees head to Casa Romero, a shelter that offers them a bed, a meal, and legal aid. The shelter is overcrowded and has to turn away some of those who need help. This is just a stopping off point for Nicaraguan refugees. From here, officials estimate 80% of them head straight to what has become their city of dreams, Miami. A teacher in Miami asks how many children in this remedial class cross the river. Each month, 500 new Nicaraguan children show up in Dade County's already overcrowded schools. Children who've learned much about war, but little about anything else.
When we get them in the classroom, we not only have to teach them English, we have to teach them Spanish.
Some of the newcomers move in with family and friends in the rapidly growing Little Managua neighborhood. Others have nowhere to go but this substandard shelter. There are few private assistance groups here, and most refugees who apply for asylum are in legal limbo, allowed to work but not eligible for federal aid. Local officials say they need federal dollars to deal with America's newest immigration problem.
Querida, Miami, Florida.
As many as 800 Nicaraguan illegals arriving in Miami every week. Victoria Corderi, CBS News, Brownsville.
In Dublin, the Irish national airline Aer Lingus denied today it was involved in smuggling millions of dollars worth of U.S. airplane parts to Iran. CBS News law correspondent Rita Braver broke the story last night. She said a federal grand jury in Miami is investigating Aer Lingus. While they denied any wrongdoing, Aer Lingus officials said today they were aware of the accusations and had cooperated fully with U.S. investigators.
Four years ago, I wound up in the hospital after I hurt my Achilles tendon in a basketball game. And I hobbled around on it for a couple of days. The doctor told me I had to go to the hospital, and while I was there, the hospital gave me Tylenol. It worked great for me, and got rid of all the pain that I had.
Greg Denton trusts Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
I trust Tylenol because it's done the right things for me, and the hospital recommended it, so that makes me feel even better.
Now try new gelatin-coated gel caps, only from Tylenol.
We're retired now, but our money's still working. You see, we invested in Nuveen. It's like getting a paycheck every month.
It's not like the income from CDs. Nuveen income is free of federal tax.
Which puts a lot more money in our pockets.
And it's insured, so we get a check every month, no matter what.
Year after year after
For information on Nuveen tax-free insured trusts, call your broker or financial advisor or 800-372-1700.
Where can you find a 46-inch screen TV with all this and more? A picture this bright and clear with a cabinet this beautiful, all at this price. Just $54 a month. Now, only at Sears.
With every MCI bill, you not only see how much you saved, you get detailed information on every call from every phone. You can even get accounting codes. Anything less, it's just an AT&T bill.
Until you call, you'll never know how much better a long-distance company can be.
Soviet troops and tanks moved into 3 cities in Azerbaijan today, trying to put down another wave of ethnic warfare inside the Soviet Union. The worst violence was in the city of Kirofabad, where mobs of Azerbaijanis attacked Armenians and destroyed their homes. Local reports said several people were killed. The 2 groups have been fighting since February over an Armenian campaign to annex a disputed region in Azerbaijan. China said today its foreign minister will travel to Moscow next week. It will be the first visit by a Chinese foreign minister to the Soviet Union in 31 years. It's meant to prepare the way for a Soviet-Chinese summit meeting. The warming trend between the 2 communist powers comes at a time when each is trying to make momentous changes at home. John Sheehan has a report on China's first priority.
China, with more than 1 billion people, has 1/5 of the world's population, but less than 10% of its arable land. China's children are at once the promise and the threat of the future. So to avoid being overwhelmed by an excessive population, the government has decreed that couples should have only 1 child. No children without permission, an abortion if pregnant without authorization, and sterilization if somehow there is a second child. The birth rate plummeted from an average of about 6 children per family to just over 2, but now it's up a bit, and to prevent further increases, enforcement has in many areas become increasingly tough. 2 American doctors in Beijing on a medical school exchange program described what they witnessed.
Family planning ward is a euphemism for an abortion ward. The day we were there, they were going to perform an abortion on a woman who was 31 weeks pregnant.
That's almost 8 months. Can one really use the word abortion?
It's like murder.
They didn't act as if it was unusual at all.
This couple, who asked not to be identified, fled to America illegally from rural China after the woman says she was forced to have an abortion when 5 months pregnant. Then she was taken off to be sterilized because she already had 2 children, but she escaped from the hospital.
They caught her again and took her to the hospital again, and then she escaped out again.
They hid in China for 4 years before going to America, but they now face deportation.
I'm afraid that when I go back, then they will take me to have triple ligation again.
The government does admit that some women have been forced to have abortions.
There are individual cases of this phenomena in our family planning programs, but basically our government does not promote this kind of management.
All abuses are blamed on local family planning organizations, but local authorities are under pressure to fulfill the government order to keep the population down.
China's national government requires the local cadres to succeed in family planning, and therefore the cadres cannot get away with allowing all of the unauthorized births to take place.
This baby was born recently to Li Chuanbang and his wife Ping Hung in Arizona, where Li was studying. The couple defied Chinese efforts to force Ping Hung to return for an abortion when she was in her 7th month. In one of Edwin Meese's last official acts as Attorney General, the Lees and 2 other Chinese couples were granted political asylum. The couple facing deportation hope they will be able to stay in America too. They have 2 girls still in China, but like so many other Chinese couples, they feel they need a son.
We want to have a boy to support the family when they grow up, because the girls will get married, will be going somewhere else.
In Chinese society, the son traditionally cares for the parents in their old age. So when couples had a girl and were told that they could not have another child, some took extreme action.
Thousands of baby girls were being killed each year in China up until very, very recently.
The government now admits that concern about infanticide was at the root of a recent relaxation of rules for many rural families, allowing a second child if the first is a girl. But otherwise, the policy of prohibition, abortion, and sterilization is stricter than ever. John Sheehan, CBS News, Taiping Zhuang, China.
In the vast wilderness of Australia, the outback, people say they are seeing the worst plague of rabbits in memory. With summer coming on, no rain, the temperature well over 100 degrees in the daytime, Millions of rabbits are swarming over the plain searching for scarce food and shelter. Rabbits were introduced to Australia by European settlers 200 years ago, and they've multiplied so fast that now they're among the worst pests on any continent.
Tots champagne tonight.
Still big doings around here when the new models come in. Folks will be coming into my showroom. Make sure we've got what they're after. We listened long and hard. Put together just the cars they said they wanted. Word will get around pretty fast. Always does when it's good news.
GM dealers achieved higher customer satisfaction than any other U.S. automaker, according to a 1988 study by an independent research firm.
There's only one place you'll find America's best-selling camcorder outfit with 2 free lenses worth $218. The case, camcorder, and accessories are only $26 a month. Now, only at Sears.
A little exercise never hurts, and neither does eating right. Especially when it's Sunsweet pitted prunes with yogurt. Rounder, plumper Sunsweet. So good tasting, and so good for you.
For most Americans, there is much to be thankful for on Thanksgiving. For some, the thanks come a little harder. The Census Bureau says 32,500,000 people in this country lived below the poverty line last year. 5 million of those people held down full-time jobs. They are the working poor. Bob McNamara found what life is like for some of them.
Seattle, the Pacific Northwest's most polished, prosperous city.
Fresh salmon, fresh crab today, folks. Step right up here. Hi.
With the rich bounty of its nearby waters and its orchards, on the face of it, these seem the best of times.
He shall direct our path in love. Amen.
Amen. But here as elsewhere, times could hardly be worse for thousands. Today's soup kitchens feed more people than ever, and sadly, more families, more children. But while this is a familiar face of hunger in America, this is becoming one, a working mother. Practical nurse Elfrida Nichols is her family's breadwinner, but it's a losing struggle.
What I thought was a fairly decent paying job, but just doesn't seem to stretch far enough.
Scrambled eggs is a good breakfast for the Nichols and their 3 small children, but it's rare. And the $80 Elfrida Nichols and her husband Mark have for food every 2 weeks isn't enough.
The gallon of milk's supposed to last us till next week. There really ain't that much in this old refrigerator.
No, there isn't.
And you look in our cupboards, and what you got up here is just mostly cereal. And what it is, what I try to do is get like the cream mushroom soup and the noodles. You get the noodles for like 79 cents, cream mushroom soup for like $0.25, and make my, noodles with cream mushroom soup. You get 4 or 5 dinners out of this.
Who do you tell when you're real hungry?
Daddy.
Like they always say, the father figure is the strength of the house. And it's hard because you come in here and there's nothing in the refrigerator and your son's looking at you like, come on, Dad, where's that food? And you almost want to cry because the kid's hungry. And what can I say? It's rough.
Mark Nichols lost his job last year. But because the minimum wage jobs he could do pay less than the cost of daycare, he minds the kids. It's a trap.
I always thought the American dream was growing up, living in a house, a white picket fence, having a couple nice cars, and having a good job working 8 to 5.
There's no denying the jobs are out there. 16 million new ones, we're told, created across the country in this decade. But there's a cruel hitch. A recent Senate committee report says that of those new jobs, half of them pay wages below the poverty level for a family of 4.
Brenda Snyder is another working mother. With 4 children and an unemployed husband to support, She works nights as a desk clerk and part-time translating to make ends meet, but they don't.
It makes me feel bad at times because I feel like I'm working my rear end off and I'm not, providing as good as I should. Sometimes it can be real frustrating. There's been times I found myself crying because I feel like I'm working and working and working, and I still can't get there.
The myth is that if you have a job, you're fine. I mean, the myth is that if you can get off welfare and get a job, that everything's going to be great.
Claude Walker has a good and a tough job by any definition, working as a surgical technician, assisting doctors in the operating room. But on $8 an hour, Walker scrapes just to keep a meager roof over his family and to feed it.
We'll plan each evening meal. As long as we have the basics, the evening meals, then we can work around the breakfast and the lunch. That's the easy part. But sometimes it just isn't quite enough.
The Walkers live in a house so small, the 5 children sleep in a room barely big enough for one. And going out for pizza here is as unusual as a freezer full of meat.
We've never had steak.
No.
I cannot recall.
No. Or round roast. Those are things that I suppose would be nice, but for the price of a round roast, I can get enough meals to last us 2 or 3 days.
Terry Walker is in school to be an accountant, but juggling a budget to feed her children is already a full-time job.
There are times that they say, but I'm hungry, I want something, and I try to explain, well, I'm sorry, that bread, we need it for lunch tomorrow, or I wanted to use it for French toast for dinner, or something of that nature, and it gets to them.
Our oldest boy, Stefan, is aware, more than aware. He's extremely intelligent, and he can sense when things aren't quite enough. I've noticed that there are times when he will not eat as much as he would like to, so that the other kids could have more. And he's done that.
And I've seen him at times not eat anything.
Yeah.
And let us think that he has eaten.
Have there been days when you've gone without food?
You have many times. He has many times. We've had just barely enough for food for the kids mainly, and a little bit for me, and he'll let the kids think that he's eaten. It's saying something to the comment, oh, I've already eaten, you go ahead.
We thank God for this place.
Like many families with one income, food banks have become a necessity to make it from one paycheck to another today.
In city after city, state after state, the evidence is that there may be as many as 20 million hungry people at least sometime during the month.
You kind of expect there to be a certain number of people that just can't quite, cut it in any society, but these are people that really are trying to make it.
For more and more young families, the standard of living has become a minimum standard. Their hopes now as hollow as their children's faces, and little to be thankful for. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Seattle.
And that's the CBS Evening News this Thanksgiving. I'm Charles Kuralt, sitting in for Dan Rather. Good night.
I'm Kathleen Sullivan.
And I'm Harry Smith. Thanksgiving is here. It's a time for family and friends to get together.
From all of us at CBS This Morning, have a happy Thanksgiving.
This is CBS.
Coming up next on the Thanksgiving Day edition of Eyewitness News, volunteers help feed the hungry and homeless this Thanksgiving Day. We'll show you how people are donating their time to bring dinner to people who would have gone without. And we'll tell you why a Cambodian family has a very special reason for celebrating this Thanksgiving. We'll have all these stories, plus all the Thanksgiving football highlights, and a family whose special love is turning into a business. Eyewitness News is next.
You can buy the best for a